Hopefulness 2.0, day 21. Oh. Smells toasty. I did burn a little bit, unfortunately, but that's just life. Need to cut off a couple slices, and then I gotta clean up these few dishes that I have so that I can then dirty up the pan again so I can make some toasted sourdough. So my deliveries should be arriving today and tomorrow if all things work out well. That being the kitchen supplies that are coming from Amazon should be today. And then tomorrow most likely, unless it comes in early today, or late I suppose, the next pair of socks from the Awesome Sock Club. Yeah, damn. Rough bitch to cut. Ah, shit. I want to break that out. You know what I should have got, which I didn't, and I'm only now thinking about it again, which I've already thought about before, but it's whatever, is a cutting board, because I still don't have one of those. But hey, it's whatever. Well, it's not the greatest slice of bread. Oh well. So today, I've got to take a shower. That should all be. Yeah, it's kind of sad that this thing just basically dumping out chemicals into the water now, which sucks. But I mean, you know, they're gonna run out of functionality at some point, so it makes sense. Effectively drip dry over the sink for a while, just to make sure it had plenty of air circulation under it and over it and all that. Mostly under it, because if it sits like this, it just collects in the tiny little, there's only a little hole there. So I was like, alright, well let's hang it upside down. That should air it out better. Seems to have done the trick. The other ones are, I believe, in the storage unit, so I've got to wait till Thursday for that. I mean, I don't technically have to, but I really don't want to have to. I don't want to have to go to storage until then, so. Just kind of biding my time. The sink is weird because like it doesn't, it's like dropping cold water. Finish up my I did 2 shakes yesterday, smoothies. I'll try to finish up what I got today with regards to the yogurt. I was thinking I was going to do more last time, but I mean, you know, just kind of forget or something else, or it'd be dirty, and then I was doing all the bread making and stuff and other cooking. So this is where time and resource management can be difficult for me, because I'm trying out new stuff, but also trying to incorporate old habits that are effectively for the time frame new. So it can be a little bit I don't even know the word I'm thinking of. Well, disordered, I guess, is probably the best word to use. I think I'm going to end up, because like both of my my pans, my loaf pan and my 8x8, both have some stuff crusted on them that I couldn't scrub off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick them in the oven and bake them as they are. Maybe that'll work out. Let's see. What I need to do though is there we go. I forgot to slip on the handle to my pan yesterday, and I realized it while I was cooking, so I couldn't just like reach over and start pushing it because the pan was hot and everything. So that didn't work out too well. Put my starter in the fridge. I'll take it back out tomorrow. Start feeding it for the next couple of days after. That way. By either Thursday or Friday, be ready to go. Via the Dutch oven, so basically making grilled cheese without the cheese. I'm just making toasted bread. Get some milk. Not too low, but I think I might not have enough for a smoothie. We'll see. Ultimately, doesn't matter really. In the worst case scenario, I put water in it instead of milk. Not the best. Medicine didn't really want to go down. I felt like it was stuck in my pipe. Yeah, this butter definitely tastes a little bit more rich than the other butter that I've got, which is kind of just your typical, generic store brand. Which, store brand butter is pretty much the same thing as your typical everyday, like, name brand butter. It's just different packaging. And often they're literally packaged in the same plant. It's just that you know, they stop printing and boxing in certain boxes, and then they switch over. And, you know, it's like, we're going to put out, let's say, 400,000 of Borden, just random number. And then, you know, we've got these Kroger brand, or we've got this whatever brand, or, you know, Walmart brand, etc. Oh, there we go. That might be better. Let's see. Still feels like it doesn't want to go down, which is weird. Alright. Let's start putting you on the top. So the three things that I picked up, I guess technically four, with regards to Amazon shipment, is pastry brush, the Dutch oven, and then a combo of sheet, you know, half sheet pan plus Jesus Christ, half sheet pan plus a cooling rack for it. So then now what I can do is, I've got that chicken that's sitting there. I may have to just cook it up before it comes out, since probably, we'll see, I don't know. But what I could do is take the whole sheet pan, just put all the chicken on it, or if I wanted to, I could just cook all the chicken on the rack itself while it's above the sheet pan. Either way works, and in so doing, you know, I could be more efficient at cooking the chicken. And, you know, have that be the result, you know, instead of cooking them 4 at a time, and cook them 8 or 12 or 16 at a time, whatever, depending on the total number options are and stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try definitely the cook it on a rack situation. That might turn out pretty interesting, because then it, you know, it won't be sitting in the fat that drips down, which works for me. Like I said, it's all about efficiency. It's all about trying to ensure, you know, getting the results that I want while cooking. In a lot of ways, it feels, you know, it's kind of sad that I'm only now getting back to this sort of process that I've had for, you know, in me for a while. You know, like last time I was at this level of, you know, regularly cooking and regularly trying new stuff with food and whatnot. It was back when I was living in the, the sober living place for like $400 a month or whatever it was. And, you know, I'd only been living there, let's see, I lived there for almost 2 years. So I started living with, so I got arrested, lived in a couple, you know, lived in a buddy's place for a couple days, and then my professors chipped in, paid for a hotel for a couple days, and then I stayed at buddies at the sober living place for a couple days, and it was kind of like this not staying at his place, but staying at the other dude's place at the same spot, whatever. And then had a couple of hotels myself that I paid for. And then I finally ended up getting the couch in the Sober Living, and I stayed there for about a month, and then I got a room, and then I moved over to another room. And then by the time December kind of rolled around, that was when I got my job at iHeart as well. And then I, you know, later that month, I also ended up moving into a spot in the nearby apartment that's also run by the Sober Living. And I'm getting some toastiness up under. I just turned the heat off, so it's just gonna kind of use the residual in the pan. But so by the end of that September or December is when I moved in. It was 2018. No. 2017. I wasn't working at iHeart yet. It was a year later when I started working for iHeart. Right? Yeah, because then I worked. Okay, yeah. Because I was having a hard time paying rent. That's what it was. I was trying to save up what I could. I lost my job at the pizza place, which was better anyway, but unemployment wasn't paying that well. And so it was getting to that point where I didn't have a whole lot of money. And I was still, you know, looking for work. And that was when I finally was able to get iHeart towards the end of 2018. Started making money, started saving some money, and even though I wasn't making that much, I was still able to save because I knew how to be poor. God damn. So, when the job was, you know, like when I started doing onboarding and stuff, and then I was hired, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a new computer. And so I put that on payment plan on Amazon, which was an option at the time. I'm not sure if they still do it, but probably. And then, you know, I was able to start paying and stuff, and I was going to work, and I was going to school, and so I was able to change up my phone plan because I was going from like paying close to $100 a month or more because I was on Ting and I was using a lot of data at home, and so I can't remember. I think I switched. Well, I think Ting had a different thing, or so I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But it was after I started working at iHeart that I really started cooking, because then I had, you know, I had a job, and I mean, plus I wasn't working at a fast food restaurant anymore either, because I didn't cook for shit when I was working at the restaurant. I was for a little bit, but not that much. And you know, just because saving money and shit. But it was mostly just like quick and easy stuff. You know, if I could put it in the microwave, or if it was a, you know, can of beans and some other stuff and toss, you know, like just really simple shit. Because also, before I moved over to the apartment, you know, I was sharing a place with like 8 dudes. And But like, I think one fridge, I can't even remember. You only had so much pantry space, etc. And, you know, definitely gotta clean up after yourself for that. So I did super simple shit. Just to make sure, just to make my life easier. So, yeah, top and bottoms both got a little burned, unfortunately. When I cooked this last one, that's whatever. It's still not as fluffy as I'd like it to be, but it might have something to do with how I did the starter, whatever, I don't know. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, like, I tried to make a stable life for myself. That's the thing. It's like I try to find a way to stabilize my home life. You know, when I got off the streets, and I was living in the apartment, you know, I was living in the living room. That was when I bought, you know, that pan. It was like the first good pan that I'd ever purchased in my life, and I cooked like a ton of shit in that thing. It was when I started trying to learn how to cook steaks. It still didn't do great. I made a pan sauce once. That was good. In fact, it was for a burger of all things. You know, but now, you know, now that I've had like time to try to cook, and I was looking up stuff, and I was finding stuff on the internet, I would say it's kind of a big coincidence, but the timing worked. Was during the pandemic was when I got more into it. There's so much more time, and I was already watching like a channel or two, and then during it, I was introduced to Claire through Phil DeFranco, in fact, because he would occasionally do like a Teddy and Awesome type thing or something like that. The hell? It's like my body doesn't want to swallow today. Weird. Fuck. So anyway. So that's when I started watching Claire, and then a lot of the other Bon Appetit stuff, and I was learning a lot more stuff through them, and you know, then there were tie-ins with other people that I may have already watched or somebody I hadn't watched before, and you know, and then just starts snowballing, and I see like Adam Ragusi's video at some point on Reddit, and I started following him too, and again, you know, it's like And it was at a point, like, I started watching Adam before the pandemic and before all the closures and shit. And the reason I know that is because I took his steak video and I did the same thing with Babish's steak video. And I watched both of them pretty religiously for a couple days in a row, and then I went and bought some steaks, cooked them up in the last place I was living. And that was before I basically shut everything down and stopped doing stuff in the kitchen entirely, and effectively brought the kitchen to me by buying a microwave and a mini fridge. I've been trying to do this shit all my life. I've been trying to cook all my life. Ever since I was a kid. You know, I would want to buy shit for my mom for her birthday, for Christmas or something. There was always some sort of like kitchen related appliance or some shit. Not knowing that I was trying to buy it for myself, effectively. That it was something I was interested in. There's this post that floats around Imager quite a bit every now and then. Like so many others. I mean, they call them reposts, and I generally don't care for the most part. It talks about knowing yourself when it comes to depression. And like if you experience depression later on in life, and you kind of have to learn how to remember who that person is and how difficult that is. And then if you had depression before, let's say, even puberty, and if you've basically had it all your life, that you don't even know who you are and how disconcerting and fearful that is. And like, I still don't know when depression started for me. I know when the major depression started, and that was after my stepdad died. But looking back and trying to figure out who I was is hard. Cooking is one of the things that has always been an interest of mine. And it was always shunned because I never got taught how to do it. I was always discouraged from doing it because I was always doing it wrong. And it was the same kind of thing with so many other things. I did it wrong, so I wasn't allowed to do it. Or, and if it was in cooking, that was the thing. If it was, cleaning, it was, oh fuck, hold on a second. Ever since I swallowed that fucking pill this morning. The body's like, you can't put anything else in me right now, fucker. Like, and it wasn't even out of creativity or anything. That's the other thing. It was just knowing how to do it. And it was an interest that I had naturally that I wanted to do. Yeah, I fucked up eggs all the time, but I still wanted to keep doing it. It's one of the few things that fits with the way my brain works. Whereby the effort and the result and the satisfaction of the result are very much in close proximity with each other time-wise. You know, you cook a piece of toast, you throw some butter on it, and you eat it, and it tastes fucking delicious, and it took you 10 minutes. God damn it with this fucking swallow shit. This happens every now and then, too. It sucks. Happened all my life. Every now and then I swallow something, somehow it's wrong, and then it fucks with me for a good couple more hours or whatever it is. I don't know. It's like when I yawn, and if my head is up too high or something, then the muscles here in my neck get taut, and I'm like, argh. Or sometimes if I yawn and my head happens to be in the wrong direction, it feels like my trachea and or esophagus or whatever just happened to be like stuck in a certain spot. I mean, I've literally had it to where I've just went click. That might be the hyoid bone that's like right in here. I don't know. Makes more sense that it would be the hyoid bone and not, you know, my trachea, but I don't know. Human body's fucking weird. And it's so hard to regulate sometimes. Hot, forgot to turn on the AC. Not only that, I forgot to turn off. Oh shit, hold on. That cooling tower was on the lowest possible power. Not only did I forget to turn on the AC, I forgot to turn off the heat. It's almost 12:30. So I'm gonna take a shower and do laundry today. And I'm continuing to try to figure out a way to cook, even though the future looks bleak, because it has been a thing that I've been wanting to do all my life. I don't know why. Maybe I'll talk to my therapist about it when the time comes towards the end of the month. Have fun.